You're gonna
So,
kill me.
yeah?
Penis music.
God damn it.
Actually, I'm waiting. Actually, it's the Wait For Me 2 I'm listening to.
So,
The reprise.
yeah, that's a good one. But the both of you have been meeting up off and on. Mostly off for a short period of time, but now it's mostly on. Iris, you've been kind of situated primarily on your previous homeworld, primarily to gauge the situation now that Susato is freed from whatever was ailing her, the gloom, apparently. And
Indeed.
you occasionally used to see this purple-haired, like short purple-haired, like purple-themed, practically, kid around kind of your age but a little younger.
Mm-hmm.
That would be roaming around with Gina, and it turned out with some questioning that it wasn't that he was following around Gina, it was that Gina was keeping him from standing out too much, even with the purple hair.
Got it. I mean, there's a bunch of characters with interesting hair colors in this game, so that's not an issue.
Yeah. When you got to questioning both of them, it turned out that Vincent, the one with the purple hair, was essentially trying to find the root cause of what had done this in the first place on a locked world. And if it was a person, eliminate them outright, and said that in broad daylight, just eliminate them. And Gina was just like, whoa! Yes, but not like that. Like,
yeah. You want to get yourself arrested for murder? Do that, I guess.
yeah, I feel like that was Iris's general sentiment as well with Gina.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, don't say it like that, okay? If it is a person, we'll handle it then. And you kind of reeled in Aster, who started to visit more and more often, just to keep him from unintentionally getting arrested and tried for something he didn't do. But you do hear a knock on the door as you're talking with most of them at the table.
Oh, should I get it?
Who would it be at this hour? Says Ryunosuke. Just because it is like midday. Most people are at work.
Could be a client. Could be Aster.
Could be. I'll leave it up to you. And he looks hesitant to leave Susato's side, and she's slowly getting better.
All right. I'll be right there. She gets up. She scuttles over. And opens the door. Well, hello, Terry.
When you open the door, you see Aster, but not entirely. He has no vitiligo on his face. And he kind of, as he walks to step in, you watch his vitiligo sort of return. I hate doing that.
Oh dear.
He kind of like takes the little baker boy hat, part of his disguise, off.
All right. Well, welcome back. Ryunosuke? Sorry. Ignore that. Bruno?
He kind of tilts to lean back towards you.
We've got company. Come on, Terry. Let's go inside.
He's gonna close and make sure the doors are locked behind him first.
Of course. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, welcome back. It's been a hot minute, and it has been for the two of you, as you had to be brought back to the academy briefly.
Yes, I apologize.
You know, things got some shit hit the fan, so we had to clean the fan after we got out the way, you know?
Language! You know how inappropriate it is to say such things. Don't you agree, Susie?
Susato gives a look of concern.
Is everything alright?
It's just a mild headache. It's okay.
If you're sure, do you want some of my special blend to help relieve it?
I'd love to.
Hey,
Thank you.
hey,
All
you're
right.
a helper.
You don't know how well it works. One moment. And she's going to skitter into the kitchen and listen in on any conversation that's going on.
So,
Aster,
yes.
from the other table, you do hear like murmuring, as if trying to keep hush, but not hiding anything. You recognize
from-
Vincent and Gina talking, yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't seem to be minding that you've walked in at all.
Events.
The murmuring pauses for a moment as similarly deep violet eyes look up at you.
Send a letter towards Tsubasa one of these days. He's a worrywart. You know that better than I do.
He looks back towards Gina and continues talking.
That's rude.
Asta's gonna move his attention over to Susato. You're looking better.
Thank you. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, that's the best we can ask for.
And Ryunosuke speaks up. Have you found anything out yet?
No. All I have found is I tried to find this person. Baron
Barack called from the
Barack.
kitchen.
Barack von Zeke.
Zeke. And she steps out with the tea. Zeke's rather particular.
And you
Doesn't
just see Ryunosuke have the reaction of, yeah, particular.
Iris sets Susato's tea down at the table. You and Vinny know each other, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was close with my boyfriend, so.
Careful what you say out here. But Iris is grinning.
I wouldn't say it. Hey, I'm a dark-skinned man in a time that I don't think is too safe for me already.
No,
I
that's
have to hide
fine.
my vitiligo. Being gay would just be adding debuffs, you know?
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah.
But Iris sort of waltzes up to sort of stand in the center of the room. We ought to do some planning, shouldn't we? See what we should tackle next.
Real quick, hold on, actually, and he like rushes over. Do these people do the blonde one and Rio know about Heartless?
I think so.
Think it'd
Yes,
be
of course
okay if
they-
I think it'd be cool if I called one out?
I don't think so. They're a little nervous. We'll get to that.
Gotcha. And he just goes wandering back to his place against the pot.
Christ. So Iris sort of clears her throat. Mm-hmm. So, what have you uncovered so far, everyone? God damn it.
Gina speaks up first, turns away from Vincent and looks towards you, leaning back in her seat a little bit. And
Mm-hmm.
over the course of the past couple of years, really, she's gotten a lot more comfortable being this concept of a hero, at least in her own way.
Smoof.
But she's still not used to wielding her Keyblade, and most of the time, somehow, she wields it as form change immediately upon summoning it.
Because she's insane.
Yeah.
Remind me what her summon form, like her form changes.
She has a Blitz form.
Right. Terrifying.
Hers specifically are, if I recall my notes, because I'm not, like, currently looking directly at her notes, which I should be, but I'm not, because I remember them. She has, one, like, basket-hilted dagger and one, like, sheath dagger constantly.
Nice. Nice. Okay, so yeah, Gina speaks up.
Gina speaks up and goes, so, little complicated. So, it's, despite what this idiot thinks, and points to Vincent, who shrugs. It was a good idea. Right. It's not a person. Not that we can see. If it is, they're very good at blending in.
Right. Iris kind of quirks a brow at that. Doesn't say anything else.
Aside from that, we haven't been able to pinpoint a source. Just taking out the little guys.
Alright. And the little guys haven't led you anywhere?
No. Wish they would've.
Think it might be time for the sneaky approach.
Actually, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Oh?
Can I roll a history check and see if talking to... Because I imagine he took his time to get here. You said it was about midday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll a history check to see if Aster did any heartless speaking in alleyways and whatnot, basically, away from prying eyes?
Do two
the
rolls for
summoner.
me.
Okay.
One stealth. To see if you would
Alright.
even have the chance to.
Hold on.
So, 11, you'd be able to talk with one over the course of the day.
It's not terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not where you'd like to, but you're not the sneakiest in the group.
Yeah. Could I gain advantage on my history check if I described what I talked through? Basically explain how I did the talk?
Sure. I won't guarantee
Uh,
advantage, but go ahead and describe it.
Basically, he approached a heartless that he was able to kind of find in an alley and went, oh, friendly, in the heartless tongue. My name's Aster. I'm curious about this world. Opens his coat, little Zippy, hugging in his like flat form. This is my friend Zippy. We noticed that there's a couple fights with glooms that's been ramping up around. We wanted to try and help. Pick a side, you know?
Roll persuasion. Because, like I stated at beginning of campaign, Heartless, Soulless, and Gloom are all sentient. Sapient.
Roll that. Hell yeah!
This Heartless you encounter is very specifically a shadow, similar to Zippy and Missy and Itty and Bitty. But this one is... It's hard to describe. When you go on worlds that are infected by Heartless, by Gloom, by Soulless, they take the shape of something that the world will dismiss if they see it. These shadows, they look like Bellrunners.
Oh! Like people who knock on the bell on like the doors to wake them up?
Yeah.
Yes!
Okay. Bellrunners. Who gave him? Did he give him any info?
Some of I would say some of the information you got, it was hard to parse. The 3 things that you got with that roll, without pressuring for more information in broad daylight at that point, you would get these 3 things. 1, they don't know who they're responding to. Only that they're getting orders. 2, the orders are never to kill. 3, they're looking for... Yeah?
I'm trying to keep up note-wise. Okay, so unaware who they are working for, only that they are getting orders. Their orders always say never to kill.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly,
all of the responses that they get are not in verbality. They're not spoken or written, or it's a feeling. It is almost like a pressure in the back of their minds, or what minds they do have.
Intriguing.
oh god, or lead. And Aster will say, the creatures, if you see any weird Bellrunners, those are heartless. One of the heartless I was able to convince to talk to me.
Oh, this is to Iris. Okay.
Yes, this is Dyrus. Said they don't know who they're working for, but whoever they're working for gave an order of no kill. They can run wild, but do what they're ordered, but they're not allowed to kill. But the weird part is, and this is something we should probably note down, it's not verbal. Kind of like a hive mind queen bee situation. It's more felt.
Okay.
Like a pinch in the back of their head. They need to follow that order.
Okay.
They know the order.
This is useful. Can I roll investigation to put some of these pieces together?
Certainly.
Right. Come on.
I will also have this note down. Oh, damn, nice. I will also note this down before Ren gives it. If we run into any more Bellrunners that aren't, violent, I can try and get more info out of them.
Excellent.
So, as you're talking aloud, Rinosuke and Susato are listening in, as if only to keep track of where everything is going, both being judicial assistant and judicial lawyer. And they don't have much to say on the matter, only pointing out or reiterating some things that you kind of confuse yourself on. Mostly to redirect you, essentially. Vincent and Gina are the ones that point out one of the things that gets your mind working.
Okay.
Vincent pipes up with, when I was out with Gina, we saw... This is normal now outside out here. I'm sure you've heard the rumors of making black coats fashionable. I've always held a particular distaste for it, but I don't control the fashion trends. And
Certainly not.
And Gina goes to say, well, that being said, we may or may not have seen a black coat around.
Worn by whom?
Never saw a face.
Any distinguishing features?
Never
Black
saw...
coats normally... Ooh, sorry.
She thinks for a moment. I'm actually going to roll to see if she remembers, because for her, this was a while ago.
Okay.
Can I give her the help action by giving info of Black coats normally hide face, but allow for general body shape and height to be noticed. If you get close enough, you can see under the hood.
I will allow it in this instance, because that is something she did not know before. She needed it.
Oh, what was the first roll?
2.
What was the second?
17.
Fuck yeah!
So
Aster.
as she's thinking at first, she looks to be struggling, and then you mention the body shape. That it hides a lot of things, but body shape and general structure of the form, it can't.
Okay.
And she goes,
Body shape
All right.
and height was my specifics. So.
well, structure of the body, yes.
Yeah. Right.
And she goes, yeah. They were built kind of scrawny. Kind of like us when we were younger. But they weren't young. I never saw them outside of a group of people. But then when I would see them again, the people were no longer happy. Kind of like a mob right before it strikes.
Interesting. And she's frowning, taking all this information in. All right. Claps her hands. Asta,
Yeah.
if it's all right, I'd like you to look more into the Heartless process. See if you can track one to a place where it is likely to receive orders, or ask it if there's a certain location that they receive orders in.
I can do you one better.
Oh?
I just need everyone's permission. Or
Oh!
borrow the kitchen.
Sorry?
Or to borrow the kitchen. You know how my little buddy pats Zippy on the head without showing him? And his friends and I have been working, training and whatnot?
Yes?
I can only do it for one of them at a time, but technically they can enter a state of temporary evolution. Itty and Bitty, they take the forms of hounds.
Oh.
I can personally be there, or I can have a hound with Zippy and direct connection. I can see through Zippy's eyes, you know?
That's a perfect option, yes. If you could.
Actually, I can see through his eyes, hear through him, and I don't think I can speak through him, but see and hear, pretty much.
No, that's better than speaking, frankly. If you can get some information on, that black coat, listen in on certain things, and maybe follow some Heartless.
As the mention of black coats gets repeatedly brought up and brought up and brought up, Iris, you're facing in the general direction of Aster, correct?
Yes.
Out of the corner of your eye, you see Susato trying to shrink in on herself.
Susie?
Before I became that, I heard a voice, only saw a black hood.
Tell me more.
Vernal immediately started typing.
What did they say?
Let me know when you're ready for it.
Yes.
I'm ready.
He hesitates. And it's not a hesitation of not remembering. It is the hesitation of not wanting to. But because it's you asking, she does. They said it's not worth the risk of remembering if you're not ready to run the risk of forgetting.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Aster will wait for Iris' response first.
Okay. That sounds familiar almost. Can I roll to see if I remember anything about this phrase or if I've heard it before?
Hey, Riri.
Wait, just a second.
I'd say it'd be very high DC, but you can.
History?
Yeah.
All right.
Question.
Yeah?
Okay, never mind.
Sorry.
That ain't within the DC?
Hmm?
21. Does that work for Iris's DC?
No.
Damn.
Then I will ask this.
Okay.
Riri, does it sound familiar before you left this world? Or after?
After.
I will say with a 21 history, you don't remember if you've ever heard it before in class or from anybody close to you, but it sounds eerily similar to something Yasha may have mentioned.
And Yasha is a nobody.
Mhm.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Iris, I have an
Mhm.
idea.
What's up?
Possibilities. Very dumb. I don't know their face, but I do know their voice. If I could... Susato. There are two voices in my head that I feel like can give that ominous kind of conjecture.
That sounds unhealthy.
Don't
It's very
worry about it.
unhealthy. It really hurts my voice, but if it can help, do you think you'd be able to recognize one of the voices?
Don't hurt yourself on my behalf.
Please, I'd hurt myself on my own behalf.
We'll come back to that, I think. We need to get you investigating first.
Yeah. Also, real quick, and he's saying this as he takes off his jacket, you know, the one that Luca gave him. I need a new jacket.
Why's that?
Itty or Bitty are heartless. They're of my own shadow. They don't moosh. They don't, alter themselves to this world. Like Ziggy.
Oh.
So, if anyone's going to question a small child with a dog, they better bundle up.
Well, you ought to talk to, and she thinks for a moment. The pawn shop down the road has a new owner. Perhaps you ought to check in with them.
Alright. And he puts his jacket back on, waiting to get a new one before actually doing this.
Alright.
In the meantime,
I will say, because Susato, despite having seen you before, notably you've always been around with a more muted outfit to blend in. So this is the first time you've shown up in your musician's garb, your dandy outfit, your original clothes. So she has this odd look of recognition on her face.
what's up?
Oh my god, because she's met Luca.
Yeah.
Aster doesn't know this. What's up?
Nope.
You look kind of like you've seen a ghost.
Not a ghost. If he was a ghost, he was a very loud one.
Iris just like...
I don't get. Oh, it's Luca. Okay. And then Aster will begin to just kind of make his way to vents, almost just to walk over across, hand on the shoulder. Come with me.
Now, you're not going to get him without Gina, so...
Yeah. So maybe I was figuring that actually. Not really, but I can work with that. and walks up to Iris. Maybe split off, meet back in an hour. Maybe more.
Sounds good to me. I'm going to check in with Uncle Barry, and then I'm going to do some investigating in the yard, maybe? About that.
1 second.
Hmm?
Go ahead.
I'll go talk to Uncle Barry, and I'm trying to think if there's any other people she could talk to. Oh, Miss Mary might know things. Sorry to make you play another character.
Who are you saying?
The current coroner, Maria Gori, who is creepy and likes knives.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, you'll probably get a grip on her pretty easily. I'll send you a picture.
Is it another case of, oh, you've played a character like this before, or is it just my type?
Oh, yes. I am almost certain you've played a guy like this. That's not the button. This is her. And this is her without the mask.
Fair. Aster will look at Iris and go,
Oh my god.
you know what? Yeah. Aster's gonna look at Iris and go, "You gonna be okay by yourself?"
Oh, absolutely. We'll see what we uncover when we get back.
He'll do a thing and he'll just go, "Well, just. I'd feel safer if you had somebody with you."
Are you trying to pawn Zippy off on me?
Well, actually, I was gonna say, if not Zippy. He kind of gets a little weird, like, but she might be too much. That would be overkill.
Squint.
Missy's been affectionately hitting the gym with her new form.
All right. If she's willing to come along, I suppose.
Yeah. Let's go to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And he's just gonna look at Vince and Gina and be like, "I'll meet you guys at the door." And he goes into the kitchen with Iris and walks over to the window that's over here. I remember it. Shuts it.
Smart.
And he's gonna make sure that no one can look into here as he does this.
Smart.
Okay.
I'll take the time to do that, so I don't need to do the prerequisite rolls.
Okay.
And then I am assuming summoning Missy and slapping her into Iris' shadow.
So he's going to... You've seen Aster summon Heartless before. It's a small opening. His shadow goes from wherever it is in normal light placement and kind of flips to in front of him, creating a small symbol, his normal symbol, and a small little pool of darkness for which they crawl out of.
Okay.
This time it gets a bit bigger. And you see
So-
this symbol before.
Actually,
Oh,
no, it
no.
doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't? Oh, horrifying. But
You
I do
go to
wanna
summon.
admit-
Yeah?
I do want to do this one alteration. The symbol that's normally there, the tree of stars with a spear in front of it, is different. Before it was a circle, kind of, just circular, normal emblem. Now it looks like there's a badge around it,
Interesting.
as if there's a new rank to the connection.
Okay. Now, what was Ren gonna say?
Yep.
You go to call upon Missy. And you're kind of used to, this kind of treatment only being given by Missy. So, of course, you recognize the sass of, what do you need me for this time? But without being said.
We're
But you
looking
don't
into something different.
You
Oh.
don't see Missy directly yet.
What do we see?
You see an elongated shadow, androgynous in form.
Iris
Yes.
is going to investigate some things, but she doesn't have anyone to go with her. If it weren't, I plan on using Itty or Bitty later on today, paired up with Zippy to go investigate, but I'd feel much safer if I knew my best was with my... And like, he kind of doesn't say the word sister, but there's the implication.
Mhm.
Iris raised the brow.
You know? Zippy is my eyes and ears. I gotta rely on you. My fist. And he will hold a gentlemanly hand out to his the elongated feature on his shadow.
You feel an eye roll more than you see one. Just after a long pause of just staring at you. And
He has not
kind of
dropped the kind smile, by the way. Just the entire time, just the, yeah, I'm smiling at you. I know you're tired of my bullshit, but
Iris, this is the first time you've seen Missy as human. As, to be fair, this is the first time both of you are seeing human Missy. As kind of rising from the shadow with not claws, but more like, you know that way I used to color claws before, instead of drawing them out, it would just be like a gradient?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Kind of like
Agreed.
that, but with actual claws.
Ooh.
And stepping out of the shadow, taking with it the length of the shadow, is a well over 6 foot androgynous individual with long white hair and pigtails, but bearing an oversized, like, not even trench coat. It's like one of those fantasy coats that you could stick an entire house into.
You look wonderful. Iris curtsies.
And just takes a step back and goes, yes. In like a voice that's kind of unused or new, perhaps. Trying to semi-blend in and mimicking half yours and half another's.
All right. Well, if you need me to join up with you, let's go.
Before they move, Aster reaches out, hand on Missy's cheek from the other end, and just... I do have an order, though.
You usually
With
do.
that line of... Yeah, with that line of seriousness that he only gives her.
Mm-hmm.
If anything gets dangerous, you are allowed permission to use that form.
You do know how to sweet talk a girl.
Smirk from Iris.
Yeah, I learned it best from my father.
Ugh.
Which
Come-
one?
At
Come
this
on.
point, you can pick.
Let's go before Bruno and Susie see.
Oh, no weapon, though. Just the form.
Like I need one.
Well, I'm still working on it, and I want it to be a surprise.
Ah, you flatterer. Come on.
Here.
You hear a earthen kind of chuckle. One that kind of shakes you for a moment.
Oh. All right, let's go. Scoot, scoot, scoot.
And it's you are small. This person, Missy, the form that she is taking, they're tall, more leg and stride than anything else.
Iris is having a great time being mildly gay.
Oh, and another thing, Missy,
Hmm.
Oh my god.
Half
cover
turn.
name is Missandra.
Could you repeat that?
Cover name will be Missandra. So if you get called Missy, bluntly, it'll be reasonable doubt for a nickname.
Very well. Turns and starts to head out around you this time.
Alright. Iris is gonna bolt for the door and sneak the way out.
Who was about to make a joke of, don't be gay for my fucking night. Don't you do that.
Aster does not get to say it before they fuck off.
No, he does not.
So who's going first?
Well,
I
what
still
is?
need to go.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
are you doing
As-
specifically?
Me?
Not you.
Yes.
Oh.
Aster is going to kind of go up to Vince and Gina and go, you two ready? We're gonna stop by the pawn shop, look for a cover jacket, and keep an eye out for Heartless on our way down there. If we find any, we'll take a detour.
Well, why don't you just look in his room? I'm sure there's another one from that geek.
His room?
Because
Mhm.
he's a geek and I'm a fashionista, okay?
Who's
And he
room?
turns over to Ryunosuke. I apologize for calling you a geek. We have two very different styles
You
of fashion.
look at Ryunosuke and he's hiding laughter behind one hand as geek is mentioned. And even Susato looks to be chuckling behind one hand in that polite, like, old woman fashion.
Yeah.
I'm so lost.
Vince, without looking up, goes, Luca's the geek here.
So he did stay here.
Yes, and this isn't Ryunosuke's. Sorry, do I get to call you that? Is that something I can do? I prefer if you didn't. Mr. Naruhodo's doesn't stay here.
Still, it might be better for me to go get some clothes of my own volition.
You sure? I'm sure we could find something of
unless you
ease.
wanna-
Looks like you've already met him, so... How's he holding up, by the way?
Yeah. He's finally banging my dad, I think.
Whoa!
I feel like the
And he
entire
said
room
this
just
phone-
crinkled.
Trust me, as horrible as that sounds, it's been an upward battle for about 2 years now.
Oh my god.
I'm going to cast silence on you, says Vincent.
I have enough mana pool to counterspell you back and forth.
Christ. Don't spend all of it now.
No.
But you do see Gina
Look.
stand up and go, well, if that's what you want. And just start to head out. Come on, Vincy. He's like, don't call me that.
I love how
call
he
him anyway.
tolerates Vinny from Iris, though.
Yeah. What else is he supposed to do? That woman is scary.
Aster will give him a look over as he moves over to this side. Kind of investigate, if you will, insight. Do a passive insight check to see how he looks like he's holding up.
Looks like The Walking Dead.
Yep.
More than usual?
Nope. Not more or less dead.
Awesome.
I'll put it to you this way. He looks like Simon when we first met him. In AT.
Awesome.
He doesn't look great, but he's looked worse.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the fucking life.
So we're gonna
Okay.
do Iris first, if that's all you have to do.
Absolutely.
Okay. So where are you heading to?
First to the coroner's office, and then to Baroque Van Zeek's to sort of get some, like, basic, like, some more information on the Black Coats, see if there's been any visits, so to speak, from either of them.
Okay.
I have a feeling that we might find something regarding things with Maria.
So you're headed to the jail, correct?
The coroner's office is closer to the law areas. It's in the forensics building.
I see. So, how do you approach with Missy in tow? Because Missy does stand out kind of oddly with naturally white hair.
You realize Maria also has naturally white hair, right?
Yes, and I'm sure she stands out just as bad.
Just a little.
To be fair, the weirdo Maria also wears a fucking gas mask normally, it seems.
Plague doctor, but sure. Iris is going to be like, as long as you tie that back a bit, it shouldn't be an issue.
You see Missy pause in her stride a little bit behind you, and she seems to notice her current physique and takes out the pigtails and proceeds to tie up into a rather messy bun. Makes her look like a teacher.
Perfect.
She's a little out of place still, but, you know.
Less so.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like Iris isn't either, so they'll probably brush it off as eccentrics.
Mm-hmm.
So Iris goes down to the coroner's office and, like, gets permission to enter because she has to. Knocks on the door. Mary, are you in there?
It is, for lack of a better term, dead silent in that office.
Oh, Mary, I've brought a friend.
The door swings open.
Hey! Is she holding a knife?
Yes. She's, like, I get the feeling that holding a knife is basically her idle animation.
Oh, yes. Hold on, I need to find her sprite now.
Yeah.
Here's something. This is a talking animation.
This is the worst, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyway, so she's like, she opens the door. Hi! Oh, did I disturb you doing work?
No. I was busy with something else.
May I ask what? As she gently scoots in.
Self-defense, so to speak.
Against what? Raises an eyebrow.
You wouldn't believe me if I told you. And turns and walks back inside.
No, I don't think that's true.
I have a question.
Yes?
Do you want me to voice Miss Andra during this, or you got it?
I got it.
Okay.
Because
know-
Missy is a very, like, straightforward kind of voice. It's just mine, but more monotone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, also Missy is just straight up just the person to stare at people who said, I had a donut for breakfast. You know?
Yeah. So, Iris sort of, you would be surprised. I've seen a lot of crazy things.
That sounds quite a bit like your normal routine.
I love how you pinned the voice like immediately.
It took me a few tries in my brain of just like, that isn't it, that isn't it, yes.
Yeah. So Iris sort of, well, yep, perfect. If it's anything like, and she lowers her voice, a black-coated person.
You get a squint and a tilt of the head.
Or perhaps a little shadow creature running around.
Oh, so I'm just insane for seeing things? Is this what it is? Is this what it is? Come inside,
Well,
we'll have
what I-
something to drink. And
Excellent.
kind of sheath the knife, though it's really just in a holster.
Yeah. Iris follows inside. Come on, Missy.
In just long strides.
Long
Sorry.
suffering sigh type beat.
Yeah. And just, so first off, who's your friend?
Oh, why don't you introduce yourself, Missy?
Mithandra. It's a pleasure to meet you. Oh, I like her.
I thought you would.
We'll have to catch up on your dramatics when we have time. Right now is not it. Iris, it has been a
Yes.
while.
I know. I'm so sorry. Things got hectic, you know.
You look good. She
Why, thank you.
winks a little bit as if she's trying to figure something out. I need you to roll deception.
Oh no. Oh no. I don't have proficiency in that.
Mithy is going to give you the help action by saying she's been abroad.
So that's 10. Do I get another roll, essentially? Come on. 19!
Do you say anything to help the abroad comment?
It's... no.
There's a nod after a moment, seemingly taking that at face value, at least for the time being. She gives me the impression of, I will ask 10,000 questions until the point that you break kind of person.
Oh, yes.
So for
If
right
she
now,
cares
she,
enough.
yeah, in its iris, she probably does.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there is a guest, so she will not right now.
All right. Iris sort of... So, yes, you said you've been seeing things?
Yes, odder things than normal. But that's
I'm
a little
curious.
that's a little more difficult to quantify, I believe. And she
At
leans
this
on her
stage?
desk. At this stage,
Go on. At this stage, I wouldn't be surprised about just about anything.
oh, as being abroad shown you so many things.
Indeed it has. She's smiling.
You'll have to tell me over tea. But
I might just.
she does move to jam her knife into the table.
Oh.
Yes. I caught someone snooping in my materials. Not the good ones either. The ones that make you go to bed.
Sedatives?
Yes.
Can you describe this person at all?
Oh, you mentioned quite the only thing that I recognized. A black coat.
And build?
Kind of scrawny.
I see. How tall?
I know for a fact they do not use feet.
Meters, yeah.
Yeah. I remember it in centimeters. Hold on, give me a second.
Yes.
190 centimeters.
Oh my god. Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. She nods. So, a tall, scrawny, black-coated individual searching in your sedatives. That's a problem, isn't it?
Very. I'm glad I'm not the only one thinking that. But apparently, if they don't have proof, they can't exactly go on a search for it until something happens, which I find rude. It's my stuff. I would know what it does.
Isn't it just? And Iris is like very much agreeing. She's, yeah, you know her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you want, Missy and I can go looking. If you have any extra information to share, now would be the time.
She does think for a moment. Well, while they were prancing about, and you know that this is basically her way of saying I attacked the person in my house.
Yes.
She does go, while they were prancing about, I did see blonde hair.
I need to look at something. Now, I have a question.
Mhm.
This is just in general. You motherfucker, is this Demix?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
I think I'm on the right track. Just for like personal clarification, do people believe in Kingdom Hearts in Shadows that all of the Organization 13 members are dead?
Yes.
Okay.
As far as the rest of the world is concerned, they have either disappeared for such a long time that they might as well be dead, or they have been confirmed dead.
Okay. Blonde hair. Okay. Noted. Well, thank you so much for your help. This is huge. We'll take a look into your sedatives, alright?
Don't take anything.
You know I wouldn't dare.
You know, but looks over at Missy with that look that you almost gave her, but openly this time of, you're interesting, I like you, which is her flirting. I feel.
Oh my god, yeah. Important to note, Iris did steal something from Maria once.
Mm-hmm. It's giving me the impression right now, at least in Shadows, that she noticed, was impressed, and was just like, if it happens again, I'm stabbing your hand.
Oh, yes.
I don't care if I catch you in the act or not, I'm gonna stab your hand.
Oh, yes. So, thank you. Is it alright if we leave now? We don't want to disturb you too much.
Of course, you're always welcome.
Thank you. And she's going to escort Missy out. This is incredibly useful information. I'm going to kill you if it's Demix.
So, Aster.
Yeah, bud?
What's up? That sounds accusatory. What did I do?
No, I just I didn't know. We probably should have worked on what the others look like in their humanoid forms, because in my personal headcanon, Missy was very much just like a. If I'm not mistaken for a man, I'm a violent person. You know, kind of lesbian. But you did get it right on the androgyny thing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
The way that I've always perceived Missy, it's been the like, yeah, she's violent, but not without reason.
Yeah, that's why I agree with that, because of the, Aster doing the hand on the face, very fatherly, kind of like, this is your father and like a commanding officer. You are allowed to do this. You have permission. Have fun.
Okay. I. Ooh.
Let me rephrase that, maybe.
No, I'm thinking. And I have a couple of possibilities as to who this could be if it's a character I recognize.
You know, it also could be... Wouldn't Dimmix and the Card Man also the same height?
Vexen, yeah?
Yeah.
That's why I was
He
like,
seemed- Yeah, he seems very neutral party about everything, so it could be him as well. But other than that, no, I'm ready. Love Missy's look, though. I'm gonna find out where it's from, and I'm gonna kill you, but I love Missy's look.
Is she fucking Robin Fire Emblem, by the way? In her face claim?
I was tempted, but no, it's from a different game.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm glad I
Alright.
picked up on your theming.
So, describe to me how you're heading to this place.
Basically, he's got from Gina, more than likely, the route to it,
Mm-hmm.
to the pawn shop, and he is taking the longest way to get there, letting Zippy kind of guide him with the sniff snarf ability to go, ooh, heartless, you know?
Right.
So he's following any leads, and anytime he gets to where Zippy is like, over here, over here, over here, he'll start looking for Bellrunners.
So, are you actually going into the pawn shop?
Yes, he will be going to the pawn shop.
Okay.
But just on his way, he's taking note of all the Bellrunners he sees.
Make a perception check. You have help from Vincent specifically.
Ren, look at me to BC. Okay.
Okay. Back soon then.
Alright. I have, what check?
Perception, you have advantage.
I needed it.
As you're being helped along, pointing out as you're headed down the street, 1, 2, 3, all in a group, they're not watching you. They're just keeping a general eye out, as if on standby mode, essentially. But you do notice one peculiar thing about Vincent. As he's pointing things out to you, he has one hand that is always kind of gesturing and gesticulating and moving back and forth, like to, keep eyes on him. But it's also to keep eyes away from the other side of his body, which you do notice the other hand is almost porcelain white. Almost like a light white.
He will kind of nod along. And at some point, just before entering the pawn shop, he'll stop, grab Vincent's wrist that he was pointing out with, turn to Vincent and go, "What happened?"
He squints and tilts his head. What do you mean?
Porcelain. Not a decal, so what happened?
Been like this since I woke up.
Mm-hmm. History check to see if I noticed that when I carried this man?
No need. You did, but it wasn't so distinct.
Gotten bolder. Infection? No. Probably...
I'm a paladin, dipshit.
Are you saying paladins can't be infected?
He pulls back with that same infected hand that you're thinking about. He pulls back part of his shirt and on the side that you're holding his wrist on. And what you thought was an infection from the light, the same corruption seeps into that side as well, and he lets his shirt go.
Moving or growing?
Stabilized, barely.
Stabilized or stabilizing?
Stabilized. As long as I don't focus on it, and he takes his hand back with a jerk, I should be fine.
Lets his hand go. Looks him dead in the face. You know I'm a Stitch soul. I understand a couple things about keeping steady.
Aster, make a history check for me.
Alright. 18. 14 on the dice plus 4.
He said he's a paladin. That doesn't match up. Or if it does, it means something really bad. Because all you've ever seen him do to move quickly are dark dodges. And he doesn't seem to be lying.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I want the God honest truth, if that's all right with you.
I'll give what I can.
Good. How long?
Clarify.
How long have you been using dark dodges?
Since I woke up.
How long have you been a paladin?
My entire fucking life.
Do I need to explain to you why that's not good?
Fuck no. I know why it's bad.
Then stop dark dodging.
I don't have a choice.
Why?
Because someone has to bring one of us home to our families, right? I'm not making it, so might as well let him get the opportunity to.
Can you have Vincent do a low DC insight check? Or at least let me know what his passive insight is for the time being.
His passive insight is, if I recall his sheet correctly, because I'm not pulling it up on this, because then you would know.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, it's somewhere in the 17 to 20 range.
That's enough. It's not pity. First, it could be taken as pity, but it's not. It's a look of that Vincent would recognize of, I know exactly what your thought process is. And I know exactly what you feel the answer is. And finally saying something of it, Aster goes, "You're wrong." You know you're wrong, but you don't get that wake-up call anymore.
Oi, what the fuck are you two talking about? From the door to the pawn shop opening, as Gina has long since stopped paying attention to you, but has just been watching you two basically stare each other down and mutter to each other.
Aster, without breaking eye contact, I stubbed my toe. It
And
really
you have to
hurt.
be
I had to take 'em
flirtatiously close about it?
Well, he's simply checking on me, and he's gonna let go of Vince's wrist, and not in like a violent way, but like in the gentle, like, I'm here for you kind of thing, and walk over to the pawn shop. And one quick mumble of, we're not done talking.
He doesn't say anything. He just lingers outside the pawn shop.
Would you say he's well distracted?
Yes.
Zippy slips into his shadow.
Okay.
While Aster and Gina go inside. Just the
So Gina does warn you that it's a little dingy in here, but it's mostly to keep artifacts, quote unquote, as she puts air quotes around them, from becoming targets should they be too shiny.
I grew up on a farm. It's a little dingy in here. I grew up on a farm.
She shrugs. Alright. Swain, you and go.
Gun's nice. It's a real people pleaser, though. And he walks in.
It's a little janky, but bear with me.
Nah, you're fine. I get it.
But you walk in with Gina, and Gina just goes, Oi, Asha! I brought a friend this time. And the woman across the way doesn't even look up. She just tilts her head upward while looking down at what she's doing. Goes, Hi, Gina. Your friend walks really lightly.
I got
Yeah.
a quiet step.
He sure does. And the woman looks up, bright, kind of. It's not white. It's more like a bluish tint that has faded with time, so it might be dyed, and then bleached, and then dyed, and then bleached, and then dyed. You know that routine?
Yeah. The fucking Ramona thing from Scott Pilgrim. Just please let that crusty shit rest.
Yeah. But somehow her hair is completely fluffy, and you don't know how, because you recognize the bleach over and over again routine.
Her name's Regina?
No, Asha. A-S-H-A. She looks, to put it to you bluntly, she looks the kind of vague European that you'd see in a modern setting that they're trying to not insult anybody with.
Yeah. Okay.
So she could be from anywhere and she'd blend in. But she's wearing kind of like an oversized trench coat, a pair of goggles over her eyes, which makes it hard to see what her actual eye color is. She has, even from this distance, it's kind of easy to tell that she is a frequent lip biter. Like, to the extent that even putting on lipstick or something that tastes bad probably wouldn't stop her. Chronic lip biter to the extreme. And she, like, even to the extent that she was just doing it, but now she's focused on you two as Gina approaches. What you doing?
Yeah.
Because I'm working. I got a new shipment in, and I want to see if I can clean them up.
Shipment of what?
If I had to guess, gemstones. Yes.
Yeah, and if I take a look?
No.
No, don't look, or no, you don't mind.
I don't trust you. I just met you.
Fair enough. Name's Aster.
The flower?
I was thinking more of the stars, but oh, I'll accept the flower. I'm a musician, a friend of Iris's and Gina's.
You see her glance over towards Gina again. And Gina, out of the corner of your eye, you see this, like, not a hand waggle, but more like a body tilt of, like, not wrong, but not right either. Go with it. And she goes, Well, Aster. What are you here for?
I need a jacket.
You see
Mine's
her
going
give
to
you a
be-
once over before you even fucking speak.
My current one is going to be indisposed later today, and I need a new jacket for the cold, since I'll be playing on the street later.
Do you want something of the same brand?
You've got it. It was an heirloom from my, father's partner.
Do you know that dandy fellow?
Luca?
I believe that was his name, yes?
I do know Luca. He and my father are romantically involved as of now. Not in a deep way, but it's a start.
You see Gina trying to just go, like, disappear into ashes physically. Like, just the I don't want to be here. Like, and Asha just smirks. I have a few of his old designs. He's pawned them off to me, said they were worth a pretty penny in a couple of years.
Well, thankfully I have a pretty penny.
Are you his kid?
Not by blood, but I believe by his choice, yes.
Makes sense, you look a lot like him, and I don't mean physically. As she steps around what she's doing, and you notice that she's surprisingly dressed up for a dingy pawn shop owner. Like, this looks like she walked directly out of a law office, but with an additive hood for shielding the face. And her goggles slip down from around her eyes and rest at her neck. How's Luca
Question, if
doing,
I
by the
will.
way?
Hmm?
How's he doing, by the way? He kept ranting and raving about some thing he didn't want to do. I was wondering if he'd gone mad.
Well, he has gone mad, but not in a way we're unable to help.
Hold on. You know this chap's old man? Just with absolute bafflement. Yes, he stopped by some years ago. Years ago.
Question.
Hmm?
Was he with someone or by himself?
Yes. Oh, he was with... What was that fellow's name? And she thinks for a moment. Yes, Mr. Holmes, the great detective.
Then I have a question. Did
Huh?
Luca leave anything with you at all that would have probably been... And you're free to say no and ignore me on this, but... Did he leave anything that would be used, that he said this will come in handy later on? He tends to do that.
A number of things. Some already have. Why?
We're looking for somebody who's recently purchased or is using a dark cloak. Jacket with a hood. Silver chains, kind of hard to look at them once they have it on.
You see this with your insight, but chapped lips first, and she seems to become guarded. Roll persuasion for me.
Hold on. Is that a nat 20? Oh my god.
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
Give me some flavor as to how you get her to open up.
Keeps his distance, but he goes, that person... They're doing something that we'd like to find out what. It's not in a manner of hurting them or anything of the sort, but they're normally surrounded by Bellrunners or something else. I have my own set of Bellrunners that seem to have fallen into the crowd with them, and I want to make sure that they're a good person. Me and Iris both. Iris themselves have gone off to look for them as well. Luca taught me a thing or two about trusting your gut, you know? This feels like one of those things I'd like to learn about so I can trust my gut.
Alright. You sound just like him.
I got it from him.
Yeah, tone it back a little, will you? People are going to start asking questions. And she crosses her arms over her chest. I don't normally do this, so don't make it a habit. Confidentiality and all that.
Of course.
They said their name was Bell. I didn't get much of a clear sight of them. It was already hard to look at them, as if the moment I took my eyes off of them, they would cease to exist. But their name was Bell. They had... I can't remember if it was brown or green eyes, but one of the two. Dirty blonde hair, reached the shoulders.
Hold on. Belle had dirty blonde hair, reached the shoulders.
Was already wearing a trench coat when they walked in. He, maybe? Never clarified. Had a deep voice, though. But, never can tell these days.
You don't need to tell me.
Aside from that, constantly smoking. Even when I told him this was a no-smoking zone.
Constantly smoking. Are they white? Tan?
She thinks for a moment. Yeah, I'd say about tan French. Why? You know, the kind of coastal French you'd find right off the shelves of a pamphlet.
Yes. Just specific. The need for specifics for my Bellrunners is important. In fact, one of them might stop by at a later date. Her name's Missandra.
Very well. She doesn't seem to
So
want to say anything else.
He kind of gives a nod. So, about those items of clothing that Luca left, how much are they worth?
These days, silk isn't exactly easy to find. Not amongst us, at least.
Fair. So I'm guessing a pretty penny for just the coat alone.
What coat?
Well, I imagine he didn't leave a coat, did he?
No. He looked attached to that thing.
What did he leave?
Said it was something that his older brother gave him. That it would come in handy later, like you said.
I see it.
Sure. And she goes to step around back behind the area and goes to reach over the compartments where there's a bunch of like gun barrels and gun stocks, and there's so many things related to weapons behind her that it's surprising that anybody would threaten her, but you've seen a couple of scuffle marks here and there of someone tried. And she reaches over, pulls a handle, and there's a compartment that pops open. And she reaches inside and takes out a kind of, oddly enough, it's a jacket that seems decisively to fit you. And she hands it out to you.
He holds it. If you don't mind me checking something real quick.
Sure. What are you doing?
He's gonna check the name on the tag. Because I imagine it's probably not in British language, it's in Keyblade or Common.
It is.
What does it say?
It doesn't say a name. It's an engraving of a flower.
When did he last stop by to drop this off?
The last time I saw him? Years
Yeah.
ago.
When did he drop this off, though?
Last time anybody saw him. And as you're piecing together from being here, the time difference here is very different. Where it's only been like maybe 6 or 7 years here, it's been closer to 20 to 30 on the outside, so it's hard to gauge if whatever she's about to say is actually true. It's been about 5 years.
Did he say older brother or sister?
Brother.
No name?
I asked him for one, but he said it's a secret.
How much?
Honestly, take it from me, that thing's been bad luck.
He's going to slip off his coat and put that new one on.
Currently, you do not know its stats, but make sure you have in your notes Aster's jacket. This is one of the very few currently, in existence at least, attunement items.
Doesn't matter their passive insight. Aster and the air around him seems to have gotten sort of quiet as I imagine he pulls up looks at the sleeve and he's going to use scan
Mm-hmm.
to gain the info you just gave me, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And
It
it's just gonna be that
basically
thing
does
of-
say of information unknown on several things, and it says requirement time to when you go to investigate what it would take to get the information. And it just says Aster's jacket with an asterisk next to the name.
Have you ever heard someone clench their fist so tight it's like that rubber sound?
Mm-hmm.
That is just the loudest noise of he forgot he's a herald. Those knuckles popping being loud enough to be heard a couple feet away, not always normal. Thank you. Fits like a glove. What items do you have for sale, by the way?
We're not open right now. Come back when it's dark. And she looks unnerved a little bit, but not in the sense of you've unsettled her, but in the sense of she doesn't know how to come back from that.
He pulls out his money pouch and goes, "Did Luca pay you in these?" and pulls out a money.
She's giving you an odd look. And Gina leans over to you and goes, I've learned that people don't see your money. They see the money that is converted.
Oh. Sorry. I'm not from here. My father's Russian, so I just wanted to make sure I was pulling out the right coins.
No, he ain't. Just both of them going, no, the hell he isn't.
Not Luca.
And you get a laugh from both of them, a genuine one.
Last thing, when I come back, because I am planning on coming back, I'd like to see some of the other items that Luca left here, if they're still for sale.
Yeah, they're for sale. That one alone has just been bad luck.
He's still kind of like just adjusting to it, like how that you normally have to adjust to a new coat, but he's not used to it fitting so perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you see this Bell figure again, please, and he sprawls out a number. The place I'm staying with has a directory. Don't hesitate to give it a ring.
She squints but doesn't say anything.
Thank you kindly.
And Gina kind of tugs to get you to get moving. Of just, this is getting awkward.
Yeah, do that. I apologize. I'm a thinker. Most musicians are, he says loud enough to be heard. Ooh, guitars. Might buy me one of them later. And then he's gonna go, the minute they get to the door, where the fuck is Vincent? Like, drop the picked up accent.
You see Vincent is sitting kind of out on the curb and hasn't moved much farther than that. And for some reason, your deemed a little familiar that was sitting with him in his shadow is no longer in his shadow and is just sitting there like, I don't know how this happened. Like that look.
Just the, how the fuck did I get out here?
Yeah.
He's going to kind of take the coat that Luca gave him, throw it over his shoulder, and go, well, we're gonna come back here later today. After we meet back up with Iris.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Vincent just shrugs, says, not important.
Wasn't asking you. Zip.
There's like this long drawn out, and if there's sweat bullets that could happen physically on a Heartless, this would be it.
Aster kind of does that crouch thing that baseballers do. It looks at Zippy, and Zippy, being his familiar, absolutely felt the tone shift in Aster in the store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why do you think he's,
Zipper, what happened?
Saw someone.
Yeah?
Vincent chased them. So I caught Vincent. Vincent grabbed me and started running. But we lost sight and came back here.
You get to look at him?
Black coat. Sorry.
Blonde hair, by chance?
Didn't see it. Just the head shake.
But if it's a black coat, did you see any nobodies given off of them, or cousins, maybe?
No, just glooms.
Zippy, stand up.
Yeah?
If it was glooms, they left a smell, a foul one, but a smell nonetheless. Yeah?
Zippy kind of does that look of, again.
And Itty and Bitty have their new forms they take look like?
No, I get that. There wasn't a smell.
Scentless gloom? It's not normal. Normally, you guys have the whole pungent smell versus acidic body thing going on.
If anything, it was the opposite. It smelled like flowers.
Smells like flowers. He's gonna pull out his book that he kept with him.
Mm-hmm.
The book that his mother put the Aster bookmark in.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna hold out the Aster flower. Like this?
Sniff, sniff, sniff. No.
Good. Not good, but good at least. Do you think if you could, communicate with Itty and Bitty, one of them could pick up the smell?
Maybe.
We just need to find the right flowers first.
There's a nod of agreement. What do you do?
Hand on Zippy's head. Buddy. Hand on Vincent's head. Are you okay?
He doesn't answer. His face is turned away.
The same gentle hand he gave Missy on his cheek pulled over. Hey, are you okay?
You get out, hey, before his face turns to you, and there's a gash along the right side of his face.
Mending.
Good call. It seals. And Gina's like, what the fuck? What the fuck was that?
He's an undead. Healing doesn't work on him. You have to mend him. Infuse him with necrotic or something similar. Like this. And he will focus. Gina gets to see a hand placed on the back of Vincent's neck. Shadows crawl across Aster's hand, sort of making sure it's hidden by hair and whatnot, but Gina would be able to notice due to the proximity.
Mm-hmm.
As Aster's going to try and give him... Yeah, here you go. Energy. Warlock energy, bud.
You're the only one who feels this as you do this. For a split second, as you're healing him, essentially, giving him back his constitution, for a split second, you feel a heartbeat in his neck, but it's gone.
Vince.
Mm.
I'm gonna seal this world. That's what me and Iris are here for. Make progress or seal it while we're here. After that, I'm taking you with me somewhere.
Oh, good. Do I have a say in this?
Do you think you can take Missy in a fight?
He opens his mouth to say something sassy, and then realizes this is not the time for it, which is the best idea he's had in a very long time, and you know this. And closes his mouth.
He is going to, and he just nods as Aster looks at Gina and goes, "You might want to stand back. He's kind of lanky, so I don't want you to get hit by him."
She stares at you for a moment of just, can you both stop being gay?
Can you stop being homophobic? And he's just gonna
Not being just the just the don't you dare call me homophobic, I'm a lesbian kind of energy.
Uh-huh. And he, like, as he's currently bridle carrying for a moment, just to kind of set Vincent before getting Gina's help to put him on his back to carry him better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We got our information. Let's head back. Zippy?
Hold on, I need to quote that. Don't call me homophobic, I'm a lesbian.
And I will at Vernal while you're doing that. Don't call me a homophobic, I'm a lesbian. Oh, so you get special privileges, but I don't, you misandrous.
Man! You and Gina are going to get along swimmingly, I feel.
Absolutely!
I feel it in my bones.
Vernal has died at the moment. What are we
That's
on
fine.
the time clock, by the way?
About 1:45.
I got one more thing I can do to drag us to 2 hours if you want.
Nah, it's alright.
Alright.
I'll stop the recording.